Former presidents and state governors deliberate on national issues at Council of State meeting with President Bola Tinubu. Minister of Information signs performance bonds with heads of agencies and parastatals, urges them to sustain renewed hope agenda. President Tinubu assents to judicial officers' salaries bill. Hello, thanks for joining us. This is the news at 6 here on NTA News24. We are live in Abuja. I am Anne Jibuno. The first Council of State meeting under President Bola Tinubu has just ended at the State House. Former Presidents Muhammadu Buhari and Goodluck Jonathan were in the council chamber for the meeting, while former heads of state Yakubu Gowon and General Abdul Salami Abubakar joined online. State governors of all their representatives also attended the meeting. State House correspondent Musbao Dan Wahab is joining us live now. Hello. Good evening. What's the latest?
And thank you so much. Ended a few minutes ago, where the president hosted former presidents Goodluck Ebele Jonathan and former president Muhammadu Buhari, or like you said, other past heads of state also joined via Zoom, and some of the ministers were in attendance alongside the governors or their representatives who joined for the meeting. Basically, it was at the instance of the president. The Council of State meeting is just an advisory council for the president. Is not really having an executive power as such, but they, from their wealth of experience, stand to advise of the president when the need arises at the instance of the president, and that happened today. The meeting was actually in two batches. After the Council of State meeting, the governors also had some time with the president privately to discuss some issues with him, and at the General Council of State meeting, it came out to be that they passed a vote of confidence in President Bola Tinubu on his policy so far. And again, it was an opportunity for the former heads of state and other part of the council to know about what the present administration is doing regarding the social and economic matters in the country. The issue of the 10-day protest also came up, where they commended the president for the way he handled it without allowing violence to dominate the country. And of course, they frowned at some people trying to take over power by force with the flying of foreign flags we saw in some parts of the country. And so they want the president to continue to work hard in the interest of Nigerians. And basically, again, they also told the president to encourage his media office to do more about the activities of the president, about what the administration is doing to ameliorate the hardship that people are going through in town.
Okay, thank you very much, Musbao. I believe we'll get more on this story as the day unfolds.
Thank you. All
right. Musbao Dan Wahab, our correspondent at the State House, giving us an update on the Council of State meeting we just ended. President Bola Tinubu has sent to the Judicial Office Holders Salaries and Allowances Bill, which increases emolument of judicial officers at the federal and state levels by 300%. Special advisor to the President on National Assembly Matters Senate, Senator Bashir Lado, said the signing underscores President Tinubu's prioritization of welfare of Nigerian workers, just as he recently assents to the new national minimum wage of 70,000 naira. Senator Lado says the newly prescribed salaries and allowances for judicial officers reflects current economic realities, adding that prompt signing of the salary bills demonstrates dedication of President Tinubu to ensure that every salary earner in Nigeria, especially those serving vital and strategic roles, receive the recognition and compensation they deserve. He commends the leadership and members of the 10th National Assembly for their commitment to improve welfare of Nigerians and urges judicial officers to redouble efforts in ensuring speedy dispensation of justice for Nigerians. And the federal government is being urged to remain committed towards realizing the positive impacts of the fuel subsidy on the nation's economy. And they've also emphasized that this is the focus of the Federal University Gusau's second Faculty of Management of Social Sciences conference with the theme Insecurity, Post-Fuel Subsidy Removal and Sustainable Development in Nigeria. Let's get more details from Jamilu Ibrahim.
The second international conference of the Faculty of Social Sciences, Federal University Gusau Zamfara State, has drawn participants from across Nigeria and beyond, most of whom joined the event via Zoom. The lead paper one, titled Insecurity and Sustainable Development in Nigeria, was presented by a representative of Professor Yusuf Adamu of the Bayero University, Kano. The presenter, who tries to establish a nexus between insecurity and sustainable development, also identifies social, economic, and general effects of insecurity on the nation's development. On his part, a renowned economist, Professor Hussein Malami of the Osmanu Danfodio University, Sokoto, presented the second lead paper with the title Post-Fuel Subsidy Removal and Sustainable Development. The presenter, who discussed the negative and expected positive impacts of the oil subsidy removal, said the former have already begun to manifest, while the latter are being expected. Chairman of the conference and Secretary to Zamfara State Government, Abubakar Muhammad Nokwada, was represented at the event, speaks on some of the measures being put in place by Zamfara State Government to address the prevailing security challenges in the state.
We believe that their ideas will be harnessed together and will be released in form of a communique to policymakers and government to key in and see how we can get out of these development challenges.
Many more papers are built to be presented at the conference, which lasts for 2 days. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Now to health matters. Mpox, the highly infectious disease, also known as monkeypox, has been declared a public health emergency in Africa by the continental top health body in the continent. Scientists from the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC, say they are alarmed by the speed at which a new strand of Mpox has been spreading since the beginning of the year. More than 13,700 cases and 450 deaths have been recorded in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The virus, which can cause lesions across the whole body, also spreads from animals to humans and between people through close contact with other people who are infected, including through sex, skin-to-skin contact, and talking or breathing close to another person. It can also present symptoms such as fever, muscle aches, and lesions across the body. If left untreated, Mpox can be deadly. Nigeria is set to activate a $2.8 billion carbon market, and this is as the Intergovernmental Activation Plan Committee is putting structures on ground to ensure Nigeria leads the market in Africa. Benny Adam, who reports that the 2-day brainstorming session in Abuja also targets a growing revenue for the carbon non-oil sector. We'll bring this report a bit later. Meanwhile, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has signed a performance bond with heads of agencies and parastatals under his ministry, urging them to work towards sustaining the tempo in communicating the policies of the Renewed Hope agenda. This was at a retreat for ministries, directors, heads of agencies and parastatals in Abuja. Saliu Guanara reports.
On the streets of Abuja, the voices of these Nigerians are becoming louder on what they describe as a paradigm shift in information management.
What drives any government in Africa is propaganda.
The people are getting more enlightened, and I think they are really coming out to tell people what the government is doing.
It's absolutely fantastic. I have nothing to fault the minister for. I have nothing. Honestly, in terms of information management, I don't have any fault for it. He has not defaulted in any way.
These submissions from the public and the signing of the performance bond at this sectoral retreat on presidential priorities and ministerial deliverables are a boost to enable the ministry to sustain its transformation in terms of information dissemination.
Transparency plays a crucial role in fostering and reinforcing that trust. I want to use this opportunity to remind us all that as the Minister of Information, we must understand the efforts that the government is putting into Renewed Hope as it has promised in the area of improved minimum wage, student loans, consumer credit, loans to big and small businesses, as well as different support grants. The government is also not resting on its oars regarding infrastructure and social projects around the country.
The Renewed Hope agenda is a beacon of progress and transformation, and it is incumbent on us to ensure that we effectively communicate its objectives and achievements to the Nigerian people.
The agencies assures that through their delivery task team, in propagating the policies of a Renewed Hope.
To make sure that we sustain public confidence in government and also disseminate information that will reach to the grassroots so that the government will be able to know exactly what the government is doing vis-a-vis. We also transmit the views and also public opinions to the government.
All of us, DGs, CEOs, we're going to take this information, extrapolate it down to our different directorates, and we're all going to be laser focused on carrying out the deliverables that have been placed before us.
There were presentations by resource persons, including the coordinator, Central Resource Delivery and Coordinating Unit. In Abuja, Saliu Guanara, NTA News.
This is the news at 6 here on NTA News 24. Let's take a break now. More reports shortly.
My dear Nigerians, especially our youths, I have heard you loud and clear. I understand the pain and the frustration that drive this protest, and I want to assure you that our government is committed to listening and addressing the concerns of our citizens. But we must not let violence and destruction tear our nation apart. We must work together to build a brighter future where every Nigerian can live with dignity and prosperity. The task before us is a collective one, and I am leading the charge as your president. A lot of work has gone into stabilizing our economy, and I must stay focused on ensuring that the benefits reached every single Nigerian as we promised.
Still watching the news at 6. The Ministry of Tourism is partnering the private sector on a 3-day training to enhance capacity of tourism stakeholders in adapting to customers' changing needs. Minister of Tourism Lolade John urged the participants to reposition the sector to enable it to contribute more to the nation's economy. Economy Williams has the report.
In 2019, tourism reportedly contributed 5.7% to Nigeria's GDP growth, but by 2022, it had come down to about 3.6%. The drop is primarily attributed to the COVID-19 pandemic and the ripple effect. Nigeria's tourism sector has subsequently witnessed a significant shift in consumer behavior, from customized travel experience and itineraries to an increase in digital transformation. Lecturers at this 3-day training for stakeholders in the tourism industry say that factors such as customer trust, service branding, emotional intelligence, and improved technology have therefore become critical to meeting the changing demands of the industry.
You will be so frustrated that you will have to see the manager. Meanwhile, he has employed someone who is half-baked to do that same work. So our problem is actually in trying to manage what we want to pay our staff to do big jobs for us.
Customers should be seen as babies. You know how mothers handle their 7 months old babies and so on. They should be treated like babies. They want to be pampered. That is it.
Minister of Tourism, Lolade John, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism, Mrs. Ibiana Roberts, says that in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, the ministry is poised to spearhead a paradigm shift in the tourism industry. The participants were therefore urged to make the best of the capacity building opportunity.
By enhancing capacities, we can ensure that our tourism offerings remain competitive, attractive, and responsive to the desires of modern travelers. Our goal is to remain at the forefront of the global tourism market.
The Federation of Tourism Association of Nigeria described the training as critical to the survival and sustainability of many businesses in the tourism sector after the setback caused by COVID-19 pandemic. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
And prior to the launch of Pioneer Smart School Training Center in September 2024, the Minister of Education inspected the facility located in Karshi community in the FCT. Zinret Digmun reports that Professor Tarim Maman says the center will serve as a training hub for other institutions.
The journey to develop smart schools across the country did not start today, but the present administration is taking the course of education beyond the hills and valleys of the country. Kaushi community, situated in the FCT, hosts this center, which is expected to help boost the needed development in the area. The facility, equipped with necessary technological learning tools, will cater to students from basic to secondary levels of education, as the minister encourages the teachers and administrators to maintain standards.
Part of the legacy this government is delivering to Nigeria, which is to make provision to allow for a digitalized, school system, and for people who are trained in the use of technology right from the beginning, from early child, as you have seen. Not only are you going to be involved in delivering, but also even developing what the students will be taught. So this is part of the uniqueness of this institution.
We have seen a lot of projects in order to expand the scope of the school. Hostels have been built, and a lot is being done by FCT. We have states that we have already concluded and handed over those schools to those states who've been on their neck to please give us 75 teachers to be trained so as to run the school.
The school will also run its fully furnished clinic to meet the health needs of students. Representative of Karshi community appreciated the government for situating the school in its domain, promising to collaborate towards its success. In Abuja, Zenred Dingmun, NTA News.
Now to Benue, where the state governor, Hyacinth Alia, has described youth as a driving force for growing a vibrant state. Governor Alia acknowledges that youths constitute over 60% of the state's population, adding that his administration is creating an enabling environment to transform the fortunes of the state in various sectors such as education, entrepreneurship, sports and technology. While commending the youth for not taking part in the nationwide protests, he cautioned them against social vices such as cultism, cyber crimes, drug abuse, and other forms of vices. Governor Hyacinth Alia also urged youths to take advantage of the international fashion hub, which seeks to encourage creativity and provide job opportunities for long-term growth. To politics, as political parties in Akwa Ibom State gear up for October 5th local government elections with congresses to elect preferred candidates. Some residents are also speaking on the outcome of the meeting and their expectations as the elections come up. Let's hear from Clement Barikui.
21 days already gone since political parties began processes to elect candidates at the world and local government levels. The two major political parties in the race, the PDP and APC, are on the field. The choice they make at this stage will greatly influence who wins at the poll.
We are working very hard, and the people of Akwa Ibom State are very willing and ready for APC at the local government level.
The candidates we produce, if you see the quality of councillors, we are sending out first 11.
Residents of Uyo say the body language of Governor Moeno is giving them confidence in the electoral system.
I want to thank the governor. He has given a fair ground for everybody to be a participant.
It's a job that we have to do to keep the local government going. So we're quite prepared and set for the election.
For the local government electoral umpire, Akisiek, the election timetable will be strictly followed to the letter.
So you cannot just say tomorrow is election and you start election. That is why we have given that period of time so that we can follow details, duties one by one to the end of when elections will come.
Recent development in the country, including financial autonomy to local government, are heightening interest among critical stakeholders in the forthcoming elections at this third tier of government. Clement Barikui, NTA News.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says it has mobilized contractors to commence work on the reconstruction of damaged tower in Kano State. A cut of electricity supply to parts of Jigawa and Yobe states. The tower, located in Gunduwawa village of Gezama local government area of Kano State, was damaged by a trailer that ran into its base. TCN says the accident disrupted bulk supply of electricity to parts of Jigawa and Yobe states, leaving 16 towns, including Hadeja, Gumel, Gagarawa, Nguru, Machikna, among others, in a total blackout. TCN says it is working assiduously to quickly dismantle the damaged tower, re-erect new ones, and restring the lines for resumption of bulk supply to the two states. Well, that's the news at 6 for now. We thank you for joining us. I am Anne Jibuno.